Ainadamar is a word in Arabic that means fountain of tears. And it is a real fountain outside of Granada. It's a fountain with an unlikely history. In the Middle Ages, the Arab poets used to write poems to this fountain. It was a source of beauty, and then it was the fountain next to which Garcia Lorca was executed.
Ainadamar is told in 3 different sections, each of which begins with the same chorus about Mariana Pineda as a folk hero. The same Mariana Pineda is the subject of Lorca's first major play. We see Margarita Xirgu, who originated that role, who was Lorca's muse and his producer. It starts out, and she is remembering Lorca, how they met. As the piece progresses, she remembers his arrest by the fascists.
Ainadamar features different types of singing. Both Margarita and Lorca and Nuria, they sing, I think it's pretty operatic singing, you know. And the final trio is very operatic, and the arias are too. People talk about flamenco in Ainadamar, but the truth is what Ainadamar features is the deep song, cante hondo, right? Which is what Lorca loved. We have a very important character who is Ruiz Alonso. He's the historical figure who actually arrested and killed Lorca. He was a vigilante for the Franco Phalange, and he sings actually in cante hondo. The opera features quite a bit, I would say, of sound design. The poetry of Lorca has so much water, and the fountain obviously has water. So I wanted water to be a presence, and sometimes is created in the orchestra, sometimes in the orchestra together. For instance, there is one scene that is when the fountain actually cries, and you have both vibraphones and harmonics in the strings, all kinds of watery things, but also you have a real drops of water. At the beginning of the opera, we have an actual horse first galloping, and then the gallop becomes a flamenco rhythm, and then the percussion takes over. So it's like all these surreal symbols melding into each other.
The other thing about Osvaldo is he really liked kind of passion and blood, and so I tried to write a libretto which was quite fiery in that way.
It's really important to bring the idea of the street. It's not a clean opera with clean voices. It's a little like, I can't see. It's a little like dogs singing, with angry, with passion, with intensity. It's not clean. And we need to find a set costumes that bring this idea that it's a little dirty. It's real. It's not dance and singers. Only one ensemble. Both groups sing, move, dance. I brought more movement than specific choreographies that everybody could do. And the set is moving all the time. It's very simple, but it's very mechanical because the singers, the dancers, they are moving the set and creating different places.
I think the biggest revelation in Deborah's production for me is the totality of it. Unconscious and deep understanding of the structural rhythms of the opera.
One thing that's interesting about Lorca in the context of the very troubled and violent times that he lived in, he did not think of himself as a political writer.
Lorca refused to do big political statements. For him, everything came from love and love of freedom. He was very anti-ideological. Naturally, if you have one of the major poets of the 20th century being murdered by fascists, the opera naturally is anti-fascist.
Of course, I am totally against fascism. I am against Phalange. I am against who killed Lorca. But it's not my point. The point is the Lorca history, what he left to us. This is the real power to keep him alive.
Lorca can easily become like Che Guevara, a poster or a t-shirt or a statue, but we wanted to bring the full flesh and blood of his